Ixvara marked the human soldier terminal and moved on before she could hesitate. Red tag, yellow tag. Her scanner chirped with each assessment, blue light washing across faces twisted in pain. 12 others still had a chance if she worked fast enough. Smoke hung thick in the recycled air, burnt metal and something organic that made her stomach turn. Her species didn't do well with carnage, too delicate, skin too thin, cardiovascular systems that seized under stress. She'd learned to function anyway. The scanner chirped as she moved to the next soldier. Human, male, unconscious. She knelt beside him, her fingers already reaching for the black triage marker. The scanner didn't need long. 3 ribs shattered on the right side. Punctured lung. Internal bleeding in at least 2 locations. Radiation exposure at 47 rems. His armor had cracked along the torso, and something wet gleamed through the gap. Ixvara marked him with the black tag and moved on. Terminal cases got comfort care, not surgery. Not when 12 others still had a chance. The human's chest rose and fell in shallow hitches. She paused despite herself, watching his face. Younger than she expected. Maybe 25, maybe 30 by human standards. Dark hair matted with sweat and dust. Strong jaw. The kind of face that might have looked good under better circumstances. She forced herself to keep moving. 12 hours later, Ixvara was reviewing post-op reports when the alert came through. The human with the black tag was conscious. She pulled up his file. Ethan. No surname listed, which was typical for humans in military service. Tagged terminal at 0800. Current time was 2000. Conscious shouldn't be possible. She found him in Bay 7, propped up on pillows, his face gray but his eyes clear. A junior medic hovered nearby looking deeply uncomfortable. He's asking for water, the medic said, and refusing sedation. Ixvara dismissed the medic with a gesture and approached the bed. Her scanner was already in her hand. You should be unconscious. Sorry to disappoint. His voice was rough, scraped raw. Can I get that water, though? She fetched water in a cup meant for medications. Watched him drink it in careful sips, his throat working with obvious effort. The scanner showed damage that should have killed him. Punctured lung partially reinflated. Internal bleeding reduced but not stopped. Radiation count unchanged. How much pain are you in? Enough to know I'm alive. He set down the cup. You're the one who tagged me. Yes, black tag, terminal, that was the assessment, but here I am. Ixvara looked at him directly. His eyes were brown, warm brown, like the wooden furniture in the station's observation lounge. He had a scar through one eyebrow and another along his jaw. Here you are, she agreed. Against all medical probability, humans are stubborn like that. Stubborn doesn't explain regenerated lung tissue. He shrugged slightly, then winced. We're from a rough planet. You adapt or you don't make it. She'd read the files on Earth. Class 11 deathworld. High gravity, volatile weather, millions of microorganisms that could kill you in days. Predators at every level of the food chain. The fact that intelligent life had evolved there at all was considered an anomaly. I need to examine you properly, she said. Run a full workup. Go ahead. She should call for assistance. Should maintain protocol. Instead, she pulled up a stool and started recording vitals manually. His heartbeat was strong under her scanner. Too strong for someone with his injuries. Tell me if anything feels acute. Everything feels acute, Doc. Scale of 1 to 10. 7, maybe 8. You should be at a 10. Different species, different tolerances. He watched her work with unsettling focus. What's your name? Ixvara. Pretty name. Her hearts did something complicated in her chest. Both of them, stuttering in a way that felt dangerous. I need you to rest, she said, standing abruptly. Your body needs resources to heal. How long until I can deploy? You're not deploying. You're barely alive. That's not a no. That's a medical order, he smiled. It was crooked, reaching his eyes in a way that made her chest ache. Yes, ma'am. Ixvara left Base 7 with her tablet clutched tight and her thoughts in dangerous territory. Over the next 3 days, she monitored him obsessively. Scanned him every 6 hours, reviewed his blood work, documented healing rates that defied every medical text she'd studied. His ribs were knitting. Not slowly, not with the hesitant regeneration she'd expect. They were knitting fast, laying down calcium at rates that should have been impossible. On day 4, she found him sitting upright. Actually upright. not propped up, not struggling, sitting with his shoulders back and his boots on the floor. What are you doing? Testing range of motion. You have 3 broken ribs, had 3 broken ribs, past tense. She crossed the space between them and pressed her scanner to his chest without asking permission. His body heat radiated through the thin medical gown. Her species ran cold. Ambient temperature species, adapted to climate-controlled stations. His warmth felt almost feverish. The scanner showed advanced healing. Ribs at 70% fusion. Right lung at 85% capacity. Internal bleeding resolved. For days. This is impossible, she said. It's human. You could have died. But I didn't. She looked up at him. He was taller than her, even sitting. His eyes held that warm brown color and something else underneath. Something that made her skin feel too tight. Why aren't you afraid? Of what? Of dying. You were tagged terminal. I've been tagged terminal before. 3 times before this. Her breath stopped somewhere in her throat, 4 times, and you keep deploying. Someone has to. He said it simply, like it was obvious. Humans are good at not dying. Might as well make use of it. That's not a reason. That's an excuse. Maybe. She wanted to argue, wanted to explain probability, survivor bias, the fact that luck eventually ran out. Instead, she found herself noticing the scar through his eyebrow, the way his shoulders filled out the medical gown, the warmth of his skin under her scanner. Professional distance, she reminded herself. Maintain professional distance. I'm clearing you for light duty only, she said. No deployment for 3 weeks minimum. Understood. And you'll come back for daily scans. Sure, Doc, whatever you say. He slid off the bed, winced slightly, then gave her that crooked smile again before leaving. Ixvara sat down at her workstation and stared at her tablet. The logical part of her brain said this was fascinating. A deathworld species with regenerative capabilities far beyond the galactic norm. She should be documenting everything, submitting papers, making her career on this. The illogical part, the part that had noticed his shoulders and his smile and the warmth of his skin, said she was in trouble. He showed up for daily scans like clockwork. Day 5, day 6, day 7. Each time she recorded data with clinical precision. Each time she noticed things that had nothing to do with medicine. The way he moved with careful control, like his body was a weapon he'd learned to handle. The scars on his hands, 3 on the right, 2 on the left. The fact that he always thanked her, even when the scans involved uncomfortable procedures. Day 8, he brought coffee. Thought you might need this, he said, holding out a cup from the commissary. That's not necessary. You've been here since 0500. Saw you when I came in for physical therapy. How do you know when I arrived? Because I pay attention. Ixvara took the coffee. It was the kind she liked, with the bitter edge that kept her awake through double shifts. He'd noticed. Somehow he'd noticed. Thank you. No problem. They drank in silence while she reviewed his latest scans. The ribs were fully healed now. Lung function at 97%. He was cleared for deployment. She should tell him. Should input the clearance into his file. You're healed, she said instead. Yeah, feels good to breathe normally again. You'll deploy soon. Probably. He set down his cup. Whenever they need me, and you'll get hurt again. Maybe, not maybe, definitely. He looked at her directly. Those brown eyes, steady and calm. Doc, if you're asking if I'm scared, the answer is yes. I'm always scared, but I do it anyway. Why? Because that's what humans do. We're stubborn, we're reckless. We keep going even when we should stop. Her heart's hammered in her chest. That's insane. Yeah, but you like it. She wanted to deny it, wanted to maintain clinical objectivity. Instead, she heard herself say, I don't want you to get hurt again. The words hung between them. Ethan's expression shifted. Something vulnerable underneath the steady confidence. I'll be careful, he said quietly. Humans don't do careful. This one will try. He reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away. His hand covered hers on the tablet. His skin was warm. Fever warm, life warm. Ixvara knew she should pull back. Should remember regulations, professional boundaries, the fact that attachment led to pain. She didn't move. I mean it, he said. I'll be careful, for you. She looked at their hands. Her skin was pale gray, cool to the touch. His was tan, scarred, radiating heat. They shouldn't fit together. They did anyway. You deploy in 2 days, she managed. I know. Come back, I will. Promise me. He squeezed her hand gently. I promise. She filed his clearance that afternoon. watched him board the transport 48 hours later, counted every hour he was gone. 36 hours into the deployment, Commander Vrel summoned her to his office. She went with dread pooling in her stomach. Vrel was Talaxian, old military, the kind who valued protocol over personality. He gestured to a chair without preamble. "Dr. Ixvara, I've been reviewing your recent case files." Her heart's hammered. "Yes, sir, the human soldier. Ethan, you've been conducting daily examinations for 9 days. He required monitoring. His injuries were extensive, were being the operative word. He was cleared for duty 3 days before you filed the official clearance. I wanted to ensure complete healing." Vrel's expression was unreadable. "Doctor, I'm going to be direct. Personal involvement with patients is prohibited under medical regulations, particularly with soldiers under your care." "I'm aware of the regulations, sir." "Are you? Because your examination logs show appointment times extending well beyond medical necessity. And station security reported you accessing the deployment schedules outside your clearance level." She'd been checking when he'd return, watching the tactical feeds, waiting. "I was monitoring a unique case," she said. "Human regenerative capabilities are poorly documented. Then document them professionally. Submit your findings to the medical database, and stop checking deployment schedules at 0300. "Yes, sir. If this continues, I'll be forced to reassign either you or the patient." "Am I understood?" "Yes, sir." Dismissed. Ixvara left his office with her hands shaking. She couldn't see him anymore, not professionally, not personally. The regulations were clear. Ethan returned 20 hours later. She heard the casualty alert and forced herself to stay in her office. Forced herself not to run to the landing bay. Other medics could handle triage. Other medics could Dr. Ixvara to Bay 3. Immediate assistance required. She was moving before the announcement finished. Bay 3 was controlled chaos. 6 soldiers, 3 critical. She scanned for him instinctively. Ethan was conscious, sitting on a gurney with blood streaming down his face from a laceration above his eye. A junior medic was trying to examine him while he argued. "I'm fine. Check the others first. Sir, you need stitches." Later. Ixvara crossed to him. Her hands were steady despite everything. "Sit down and be quiet," she said. "Doc." Relief flooded his expression. "You're here, I'm here, now let me look at that wound. It's just a cut." She pressed a gauze pad to his forehead, applying pressure. The wound was deep but clean, would need 15 stitches minimum. "Hold this," she ordered. He held the gauze while she prepped the suture kit. Her hands moved automatically, muscle memory taking over while her brain processed the fact that he was here, alive, talking. "You promised to be careful," she said quietly. "This is careful. Nobody shot me in the chest. The bar for careful is apparently very low." She cleaned the wound with antiseptic. His jaw tightened, but he didn't flinch. "How bad?" he asked. 15 stitches. Possible scar. Just another one for the collection." She started the first stitch. They worked in silence, her fingers steady on his skin. His warmth radiated against her palms. She'd missed it. 3 days, and she'd missed the simple fact of his body heat. "I checked the schedules," he said, 23 times. "Waiting for you to come back." Ixvara's hands stilled. "That's against regulations." "I know. Vrel called me into his office. I figured he would. He threatened reassignment. For you or for me? Either. Both." She tied off another stitch. Her throat felt tight. "This can't continue," she said. "I know. I could lose my medical license. I know. You could get transferred off station. I know." "Then why?" "Because," he interrupted gently, "because I counted the hours too. Because the only thing that kept me focused out there was knowing you'd be here when I got back. Because I promised." Ixvara finished the last stitch in silence. Her hearts hammered against her ribs, both of them synchronized in a rhythm that felt dangerous. She should step back, should maintain distance. Instead, she pressed her palm against his cheek, just for a moment, feeling his warmth, his aliveness, the fact that he'd come back like he promised. "This is impossible," she whispered. "I'm human. We specialize in impossible. What do we do? I don't know, but I know I'm not walking away. The regulations can go to hell." She almost laughed. The sound caught in her throat, strangled by fear and something else. "You're going to get me fired, probably, but you'll be the most interesting medical paper anyone's ever written. That's not funny. It's a little funny." Ixvara looked at him. At his stupid smile and his stupid stitches and his stupid, impossible human biology that should have killed him 4 times over. "I can't do this," she said. "Okay, I can't watch you deploy and wonder if you'll come back. Okay, I can't keep pretending I'm just documenting medical anomalies when what I'm really doing is—" "What?" he asked softly. She couldn't say it, couldn't make it real. "Doc, don't." Ixvara, she kissed him, broke every regulation in the book, crossed every professional boundary. Absolutely didn't care. His lips were warm, his hand gentle as it cupped her face. He kissed her like she was something precious, something worth being careful with. When they broke apart, his expression held raw vulnerability. "I'll transfer," he said. "Ground assignment, training duty. No more deployments. You can't do that." "Why not?" "Because you're a soldier. It's what you do. It's not all I am." "Ethan, I'll transfer. I'll take a desk job. I'll do whatever it takes." Her heart's hurt, actually ached in her chest. "I can't ask you to do that. You're not asking, I'm offering." "Why?" "Because I'm tired of counting hours. Because I want to come home to you instead of a barracks. Because I've been tagged terminal 4 times, and the only thing that scares me anymore is the thought of not seeing you again." Ixvara pressed her forehead against his, felt his warmth, his breath, the impossible fact of him. "You're insane," she whispered. "Probably, but I'm yours." They stayed like that for a long moment, medical bay humming around them, soldiers being treated in other bays. The whole station continuing like their world hadn't just shifted. Finally, she pulled back. "You need to rest. That laceration needs 24 hours minimum before any strenuous activity." "Yes, ma'am, and I need to file reports." "Okay, and we need to figure out how to do this without both getting court-martialed." "Agreed. But Ethan?" "Yeah, I'm yours too." His smile was worth every regulation she'd broken. 3 weeks later, Ethan transferred to training duty. 6 weeks later, Ixvara submitted her findings on human regenerative biology to the Galactic Medical Database. It was accepted for publication with honors. 8 weeks later, they moved into shared quarters, small with a window facing the station's inner ring. Enough space for 2 people learning to build something impossible. The morning after the move, Ixvara woke to find Ethan already awake, watching her. "You're staring," she murmured. "Can't help it. Humans are creepy when they stare. We're creepy in general. You signed up for this." She shifted closer, pressing against his warmth. Outside their window, station lights flickered through their false day-night cycle. Inside, they existed in a bubble of heat and contentment. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "The transfer? Not even a little bit. You were good at deployment." "I'm better at this." She ran her fingers through his hair, feeling the texture, the warmth of his scalp. His eyes closed. "You purr like a cat when I do this." "Humans don't purr, you make a sound. Low in your chest, that's just breathing, it's purring." He pulled her closer, his arms solid around her. She fit against him perfectly. Cool skin against warm, fragile cardiovascular system against impossible regeneration. 2 species that shouldn't work. They worked anyway. "I need to scan you," she said. "Now, weekly scans, remember, medical protocol. We just woke up. Humor me." He groaned but sat up, letting her run the portable scanner across his chest. Clean, healthy. All previous injuries healed into scars that told stories she'd learned by touch. "Satisfied?" he asked. "For now." She set the scanner aside and kissed him. Slow and deep, the kind of kiss that said she had time now. They had time. When they broke apart, he was smiling. "What?" "Just thinking. About how I got tagged terminal and ended up here. With you, in shared quarters, building a life. That's a strange thought process. I'm human. We're good at strange. You're good at impossible. Same thing." Ixvara settled against his chest, listening to his heartbeat. Single-chambered, inefficient, somehow perfect. Outside, Stonewatch Base hummed with activity, ships docking and departing, soldiers training and deploying. The whole machinery of military operations continuing. Inside, they existed in a space carved from regulations and impossibility. 2 people who defied medical probability and regulations to be here. "Promise me something," she said. "Anything. Keep being careful. I will. And keep coming home." Always, she believed him. Humans were reckless and stubborn and prone to treating catastrophic injury like mild inconvenience. But they kept their promises. And Ethan had promised to stay.